The Post Millennial had an article out that was fascinating to me and very reflective of the times. And this is the title. It says, half of single men avoid approaching women for fear of seeming creepy. So we live in a world now, let's keep in mind, that almost everything occurs online, right? We used to be in a world where you'd go up, you'd walk up to somebody, you'd ask them out. Now a lot is happening on here. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is it? Oh, it's my baby. So let's read a little bit, because there was a survey that was done in here that's indicative as well. And then we can talk about it. So men avoid women out of fear of being creepy. 44% of men said the fear of being creepy reduces their likelihood of interacting with women generally, which jumps to 53% of men who reported that they are single. So this woman, Blair Anderson, who is a dating coach. I don't know what a dating coach does. So many job titles these days. Maybe I'll do that. I want to be a dating coach. That sounds like fun. I think I'd be really good at it too. Just saying. Okay, Blair Anderson. She conducted a bunch of surveys about what it means to be creepy. Now, she's talking specifically about the online dating world, but it's relevant throughout. There are 9 creepy behaviors that she found men should avoid, okay, in general. This is in general. This is not just online. Staring, unwanted contact on social media, inappropriate comments, controlling behaviors, won't accept no, unwanted physical contact, pressure for sex, clinginess, and physical stalking. So some of these are obvious, right? Okay, you don't want to stalk somebody. That's nasty. Nobody wants that.
You're not supposed to do that?
I'm not supposed to. I don't know if you knew that.
Damn it.
I know. Not supposed to stalk. Staring is a bit subjective. I was in New York recently, as I told you, and I saw, in the midst of observing assaults, robberies, typical New York stuff these days, I saw an incident in a cafe where a guy had looked over at a girl, and I watched it. I happened to be in the perfect seat, which I love, by the way, because observing people is something I enjoy. Not so much interacting with them, honestly, but observing from a distance. And I see this guy, and he looks at the girl, and I saw it. He was like, very just kind of quick look. And then he looked again, checking her out for sure. She had a little bit of attitude. She came back and she was like, stop looking at me. And I thought, wow, that's, and he was not like, because you've seen that too. Sometimes you see a guy walking down the street with a girl and another girl walks by and he's just like he's all but, his tongue's like down, wrapped around to the floor, curled up. It's a bit much. So staring can be kind of like, I don't know, I think guys are even afraid to look your way. So the question is this a problem? And if so, what do you do about it? Obviously, this is a problem because men are now terrified. Even in the workplace, by the way, they're terrified to have interactions with women because there's so much talk of sexual harassment has been, blown up to the point where you're guilty upon accusation of everything. So they're like, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to be like, no, every door needs to have like a window that you can see through. And I'm good. I've spoken to guys that actually have deep concerns about like just regular interactions. Like I'm afraid I'm going to say something or like, these are not guys that are prone to inappropriate behavior, but they're just afraid that window of inappropriate has expanded so much that if they even say something nice, it's like, oh my God, did I overstep my boundary? They're like walking on eggshells 24/7. So is this a problem? Yes, it's a huge problem because you need guys. First of all, men need to be men. Men feel a sense of, becoming when they go up to a woman and they do what they need to do. They need to ask you out. Hey, can I get a drink for you? They show that initiative. That is a man being a man. They feel it in their blood. They feel everything kind of flow beautifully through their body when they are proactive in these situations. So to have them stymied now is a problem because now they're like uncomfortable. Secondly, if you don't have guys going over to women, in many respects, women are not going to go over to guys. So now no one is interacting. Now what happens? How are you expected to have a union, have a date, normal dating scene? You can't. I think one of the problems that has happened here, number one, is this culture that vilifies men on second one, right? All guilty. Then we're going to just label you all guilty, and then we'll decide if you're actually guilty. But for now, you're guilty. So just accept that and wear it like a scarlet letter. That's problem number one. And I think problem number two is that now that everything's online and everything happens through the phone, guys are out of practice. They're not used to just going up to people and behaving normally. There's so many guys that don't know how to behave normally because they're just stuck in this all the time, right? They don't know how to just, their social skills are getting lost. So much so that I think, people talk about women going for older men. A lot of times that happens because older men didn't grow up in a culture where they were in their phones all the time, and they don't function like that. So they're more likely to come and approach you in person. They're more likely to not be socially awkward because they didn't grow up in the video game, social media world. So there's a lot of pull to older guys. They carry themselves usually a lot stronger, and they're a lot more comfortable in their masculinity because they haven't been neutered like the younger population has in many respects. So it's a big problem. And I think that as technology gets more and more expansive, it's just going to get worse. So people say, what's your advice to guys? Guys, you got to, first of all, you can't live in fear. You can't live in fear all the time of, if I say this or you can't live like that. You have to be confident, work on yourself, function in the real world, stop functioning in, some metaverse or in social media and all of that stuff, and get back to practice. And if a woman is offended, I always say, if you open a door for someone and they're offended by that, that problem is with them, not with you. Ignore it. Just say, oh, sorry, I was raised to be a gentleman, sorry you couldn't, accept that. Move on and don't stop doing it, because the next woman may be sane and normal and be like, wow, there's a gentleman there. And you heard all those women in the video come out and say that, in fact, they do like gentlemen. If you want to watch the full episode, you're going to click right here. And if you want to ask me a question one-on-one, you want to do a one-on-one FaceTime with a group of your friends, whatever you want, you need to download Connect right now. Click right here and let's get talking.